Change of plans. Leave nothing alive.
Hello YouTube, Ike here. So for a while now I've been wanting to make a video on the Galvanized Reflex mod because this mod is kind of insane for making power attack weapons. Almost nothing, no other reasons was it good, like crazy good. But like when you use it like that for power attacks, it just does so much. It's so powerful, and I really just want to show you guys what it can do overall. So in this video I'm going to be going over like three weapons that I personally think are like insanely good with this thing, and they have their own different reasons why they want to be power attack builds, and they're just overall amazing. So hopefully by the end of this video I can show you how you can build it, and yeah. So for the first out of the three weapons, we have the Zaw that uses the Laka grip, the Warframe head, and the Verjit 2 Wuhan, which, if you want to know, the Warframe head is the scythe head, the short handle, and this I believe was for crit chance. Yeah, a crit chance with a negative to your status, which doesn't matter in this case. So the star of this new build is Galvanized Reflex. It gives the weapon 50% heavy attack efficiency, which that part doesn't matter. The second part will. It says on melee kill, plus 20 initial combo for 20 seconds, which stacks to 4 times, which means you get 80% initial combo. Or 80 initial combo, when paired with Corrupt Charge, will give you 110, getting you up to ×6 combo multiplier without having to do a single thing. I run melee duplicate on this, so that way you get multiple slash procs. And we just run, after that we just run a typical kind of power attack build. So this can be replaced with like a crit damage mod if you don't have one. This just gives me extra initial combo, so I go to ×7, which is nice. This would most of the time would replace your organ shatter, because now it's just a stronger version which also gives crit chance. It's really good when paired to things like Blood Rush. Helps you get into like orange or red crit territory. And then the thing to make my power attack better, Zodiac Force was kind of just a thing that doesn't matter too much to the build, just to throw extra damage. But let's show off this right here. You can see by itself, with just the cat buff, one hit. Just keep hitting enemies. As they die, they're bleeding out. As I hit them, they're going to be pretty much guaranteed to die after that point. And we hit the ×6 multiplier, or in this case ×7, you're gonna really watch them get chipped down. Even with their full armor right here, with no real other damage there besides the viral proc from my cat, they die, essentially. It's a very powerful build that doesn't require much thinking. You just power attack, run, stuff like that. And I have Nurse just to ensure that they're hit with viral. But this is the first weapon right here. Alright, the next weapon we have is the Glaive Prime. This weapon is a beast when you build it to launch those explosions. So this one runs a similar build, except I changed a few things because it's a glaive. First, I have volatile quick return, which makes it so it reduces the number of bounces it does and gives it a +3 blast radius, which increases the range. So that means I can hit more enemies with the explosion. This so I can increase the combo again, because that extra multiplier is really big, a huge damage multiplier. And then other than that, everything else is almost roughly the same. Galvanized steel, reflex. There's no rivet on this one, so this build can be pretty attainable by anyone and by everyone. So a 48 status chance. Everything here is really nice now, honestly. Note that because of Gamma Steel, the critical multiplier is not exactly what's shown here. It's going to give you like a good 120% more than that. So it's going to be strong. So now we're going to take it and we're going to throw it at some enemies. Right? So you throw this in, you just take this, blow everything up. For the arcane, I threw in melee influence, so that way I can spread powerful procs to every enemy. So hit like all the procs to hit multiple enemies, just to give it even more like status range. So even if they're not hit by the initial explosion, there's a high chance that they're gonna give all their procs to everyone else because of melee influence. And sometimes it can snowball, causing this to happen, right? And since it's also an explosion, there's multiple chances of it happening. So the more enemies that get hit, the more likely it is to proc off. And I have a permanent 6 times multiplier, so I don't need to build anything up. No effort. You just throw it and blow it up. It's a very powerful tool now. Very, very powerful now. Alright, so the next weapon here, the final weapon I'm going to go over today, is the Chlorophyll, which is Citrine's signature weapon. Again, it's another basic power attack build, except I now have Organ Shatter instead of a Ribbon. I have Focus Radon, so I can get 60% radiation. Just get some radiation procs. I run melee exposure to get more corrosive damage on my melee strikes. So this weapon will do a lot more damage once you span a bunch of abilities, right? So I'll show you that here. Again, Galvanized Steel increasing everything. It's the same stuff. You could probably replace your rest for the thing I mentioned before, for running. And yeah, this is just this thing. You can also run this, but with Pressure Point, but the Citrine version with the Finishing Overload is much better. Well, it's more consistent, I should say, when you have if you have a way to proc status effects. It has a better scaling. Now let me just quickly just build up my combo, right? And now we have about 240% corrosive. Now we let the cat proc off. Once we get those kills racked up, now look at that. See that damage? It goes crazy, especially if you just keep racking abilities, keeping that buff up. Just from is one-shotting these enemies at 100, it can one-shot the end from 160 when you get hit with the viral, or if you use literally any part of your Warframe kit. So if you have something like Armor Strip, for example, you see how they just perish like very quickly. They don't have armor, they get one shot. You can run with Nova here. She has her prime. I think any Warframe that can either give a lot of status effects or give like damage vulnerabilities and stuff like that will cause this weapon's damage to spike up drastically. And since it's a special projectile, unlike most melee weapons, it has pretty much unlimited punch through until it hits a wall, so the damage won't fall off outside by hitting an enemy. See that? So it's just a wave of death. That's what I find so interesting about this weapon. It can clear an entire room of enemies, or at the very least damage them and cause them to stagger. It's really good, and it's a very versatile tool that can be used. And this is the final melee weapon I was going to talk about in this video. If you have any melee weapons that would be good for power attacks, feel free to leave it in the comments section. I'd love to know more about those. And I hope you learned something from this video, and I hopefully will start seeing more people using these power attack builds. But with that said, I hope all of you have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.